What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. It is Sunday. I have uploaded Married to Medicine. This is a bonus video because I've had quite a few people ask me about talking about the Braxtons as it pertains to Iyanla Vanzant. I guess mostly because I do reviews for the Iyanla Fix My Life show. And I've had some things to say about the Braxtons where Tamar is concerned in the past. So let's talk about it real quick. I mostly have questions. This was not an episode of Iyanla Fix My Life. I don't know if it ever was going to be. This is strictly on the Braxtons, and I don't watch the Braxtons. I did watch this episode where there was conversation about the family, the kids coming up, just sort of starting to unpack what was happening. All of the girls were there. The brother wasn't there. Dad was there, and mom was there. Mom is very resistant. Mom was very controlling. She definitely needed to let Iyanla know that she was in control of the room. It was apparent that the sisters have some concern about, their mom's behavior, Tamar's behavior, their sister Tracy's behavior. Tracy's the only one I think that's filming right now. Because everyone else has just walked off set. Tony always seems a little aloof. She always kind of seems like an observer in the family. She never really ever seems like she's a full-on in the trenches participant. I think this may have been some of... What's the darker skinned sister? Let's see. There's Tracy, Tamar, Tony, Tawanda. Now, Tawanda is familiar with Iyanla because Tawanda was one of the participants in one of the greatest shows Iyanla ever played in, which was a show called Starting Over. Tawanda, was a participant in that process, and she had some issues where being Tony Braxton's sister was concerned. So she's familiar with Iyanla. Now, someone brought up a really good point that the Braxtons have been have had interventions of all sorts, TD Jakes and a few other people, counselors, and they still have not been able to rectify this situation. As long as you have people that are resistant, to me, in my opinion, you're going to always continue to struggle. There's always going to be a place where you're falling short because you're not willing to let go and do the work. Like I said, they talked about their childhood and in the beginning where they were always laughing and playing and putting on skits, and they talked about how when they found out their parents were divorcing, their mom and dad called them into their bedroom and they both were in the bed, sitting in the bed, and they said, we're getting a divorce, and I guess the kids were asking what next, and the mom said ask him, and then he said ask her. Like, this has kind of been their family. There was some conversation about Tony feeling like Tamar is extra, where her facial gestures and things like that were concerned. And it's a very valid point, I guess, that Tamar's always been that way. So why are you expecting her to be different now if you say she's been this way since birth? I think that perception may be a little askew, and this is why I say that. So we have the first day where they have all this conversation. Like I said, the mom is a borderline hostile witness at this point. Like, She body language and all, like she is over it. She really doesn't want to get into this. She doesn't want to talk about it. She seems to have a good deal of trepidation, even fear about what Iyanla is going to say and how she's going to say it and how it's going to come across with her. Y'all know I have my issues with Miss Evelyn, because I do believe Miss Evelyn flat out lied about Tamar and Vince. You know, even if she lied by omission, I don't think the story that she told on Sister Circle and a couple of other places was the complete truth. I stand by that. Anyway, it's really weird how much Tamar and Tracy look like Miss Evelyn to me, and have some of the same gestures, how they roll their mouth in, and body language. A lot of it is very similar to Evelyn. Tracy is still not going to get what she wants, which is everybody's undivided attention, to be heard, to be understood. She's still not going to get it because Tamar is in the room, and Tamar's not having that. She just doesn't. At this first day, she really seems as though she's on Iyanla's side. You know, she's just you know, like, I've said this, I've told this is what I want. I'm glad that we're here. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we're doing this. You know, she seems real rah-rah to the process, you know, which is, like I said, most people come to see Iyanla. They feel like first they want to be heard. They want to tell their story. They want her to side with them. Then they want to play the victim. And the next day when they come back, they act like they got it. They understand the process. They feel like they got Iyanla fixed out. They feel like they know, figured out. They feel like they know what direction she's headed in. Tamar's no different. So they all agreed to come together and have breakfast the next morning, and that next morning and have breakfast, and Iyanla's going to be present. We find out that both Tamar and Tony had engagements that were going to put them a little bit behind in starting the next day. I think they both had call times or something like that. Tony gets there, and Tamar is another 2 to 4 hours. I can't remember which one coming. And Iyanla is very upset. She is actually livid about the fact that Tamar is late, and that Tamar seems to be kind of unconcerned and unapologetic about being late. She comes in, she talks to the chefs and oohs and ahs over lunch. Iyanla ate in the car, and that's a big bone of contention, because it's a sign that she put herself out or made herself uncomfortable in order to honor her commitment to be there to help and to support, where Tamar didn't have as much, didn't have the wherewithal to do those things. And the fact that Tamar seems unconcerned, again, it is Tracy that kind of points out that this is how it is. Like, this is how it is. Everybody kind of has to deal with what they're given when they're all trying to come together, and you've got an individual that insists on breaking that thing up or disrupting that thing in whatever passive aggressive unconscious way they can. The whole time Iyanla is explaining why she's upset and kind of gathering Tamar. Tamar is, you know, she does this grand gesture where she gets up and she kind of blames WeTV. She doesn't have time for these WeTV antics. She's giving, you know, these facial expressions. You know, just all of these grand gestures that's supposed to say or are supposed to imply what it is she's thinking, or what it is she means, or, you know, where she's coming from. And it doesn't. It just looks kind of crazy, right? And all I kept thinking about, just as the day before when Miss Evelyn was being so defiant and so controlling, you know, about the rules of engagement for the therapy, I remember thinking, I wonder where this energy was when her daughter was being molested by both sides of the family. And when the girls were explaining how they were always so animated and creative and together as a family, just like singing and playing all the roles and the parts and writing their own TV shows, was she being molested at this time? For them to be all together like this, to have this number of siblings, you tend to always have someone present. So I'm just wondering how they're so close and so interactive, but she was being molested by both sides of the family. Like, how has this gone unnoticed? Miss Evelyn seems like she's got all her bases covered, and her kids were raised the best way she, you know what I'm saying, and all of this, and she's not gonna take no nonsense. But girl, did you know that your baby daughter was molested by both sides, your husband's side and your side of the family? Where is this? Where is this, Mother Evelyn? When Tamar is giving the antics the next day when she is egregiously late and unapologetic, and she's giving all these gestures, I wonder to myself, when did these gestures start? Did they start after the molestation? Is this her way of speaking out, being heard, indicating I'm in trouble, I'm in danger, I'm freaking out, I'm having a like? As a child, did she have these same antics? And were these antics to say, SOS, 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 I'm in danger? Like, how did she develop this behavior? Is it directly related to the fact that both sides of her family molested her and no one knew until she told Tracy, and then her boyfriend, and then the world? It's crazy. These are my questions. These are the questions that I have. I tend to look at things very differently. The fact that she's a disruptor, the fact that she will not go along with the family plan, the fact that she kind of wants to come across like she's the only rational thinking one in the family of all the sisters. The fact that she insists on being the one that everyone has to concern themselves with, how she feels, if she'll be there on time, how she's going to act, what she's going to say, is she going to participate? You know, some of the same concerns that they have with Miss Evelyn. Now, remember, Miss Evelyn went along with the Vince is beating me, ran upstairs, barred me and the baby in the room. And Miss Evelyn went along with all of that too. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. These are questions that I have. Where was this defiant, decisive Miss Evelyn when her daughter was being molested? All of the family seems like they're super duper close. We don't get to see a lot of the brother, but how is a child that's so in such a close-knit family able to be stolen away and molested by not one but both sides of the family? How is a girl child in a family full of sisters able to keep this secret for so long? Okay, and some of the behaviors that we're seeing where like the physical gestures, I just wonder when those things developed. I know Tony says she's been this way animated since birth, but I don't know. I don't know. I think Tamar may have developed these behaviors as a way to be noticed, as a way to be heard, as a way to be seen. So those are just my opinions on the episode. I still have not seen part 2. I'm not sure that it comes out yet. Like I said, this is not Iyanla Fix My Life. This is Iyanla on the Braxtons. So you guys tell me what you think. Did you see it? Do you have any questions? Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, what is really going on with this chick? Like, what's really happening? I always look so much closer when I see people like Miss Evelyn, who seem like they're all pulled together, and you got a raggedy, rotten, stinking mess all around you. Like, I'm looking at you even harder. And then why do you have more venom where your husband is concerned? Lo, these many years, but we don't hear nothing about this. What's going on? That's what I want to know. Okay, you guys, that's it for me. I'll come back in with just a small little bit of conversation about part 2. We'll see how it all plays out, and I will weigh in with final thoughts and ideas and opinions. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. Until next time, honeybees. I'll holla.